As we go into week 8, we're going to start on Excel, and I wanted to tell you a few things about Excel before you get started. Some of you already know about Excel, but there's always more to learn. Excel can be a great program, and I love to use it for everyday things that may surprise you, and I want to show you how I use it. But the first thing that I want to talk to you about is the labs for Excel. It's going to be similar to what we did in Microsoft Word, where you're going to start out with part of a worksheet, and then eventually you're going to keep building on it for the 5 labs. And eventually, let me show you what you're going to have. This is the instructions. Eventually, what you're going to have is a order form that looks like this. And you can use your own creativity to create a name. We did this for a school. So this is just for when they were selling nuts. So you can use, as long as it's school appropriate, you can figure out if it's a business you want to use or whatever you want to use this for. And you can come up with a logo and pictures here to add to it. And also where we have here the almonds, if there's something else that you want to put in here that is going to make it more appropriate for you, then that's fine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have formulas in all of these cells so that this is going to all calculate itself. So, as I said, this is eventually. This is going to take up to the 5th lab, so please don't think we expect you to do this right away. So I'm going to close that. But what you have on the lab is just, as I said, it's just like Word. And the lab instructions here, we have here, artistic liberties are to be may be made on the names, company names of products. So yours won't look like that one that I just showed you. It's just we have that on the module so you can see just for the future. So lab 1 is the directions are down here at the bottom. They're right down here. But from here on, for lab 2, lab 3, lab 4, and lab 5, we do have other instructions here. But please don't worry about those until we get to them. So in lab 1, remember there's several things that you need to remember. You'll see these requirements, margins, labels, and values. Don't forget to use your book, use the internet, use the videos that we have set up. If you look here on the module, I've done this differently for Excel than we had for Word. There is specific videos for this first lesson. And on these videos, if you look at the videos here, there's autofill, changing the font, most of the things that you need. Some things are not going to be here. I'm going to be creating a video for. But when you go back over here to the instructions, you're going to have to change the margin. Well, this is a lot just like Word. And here's your custom margins, the margin sizes you need. Type labels and values. Well, what is the difference here? Well, a label is anything alphabetical that you're not going to use to calculate with a formula. Values are things, numbers, or formulas that you're going to use for calculations. The font sizes, you should be able to do that now. Merge and center, I'm going to create a video for that. It's very easy. Wrap text, same thing. I will have these on videos. The orientation, what the orientation is talking about is this right here. Pardon me. Okay, you see where these labels are slanted? That is the orientation change. So that's what we mean by the orientation. So that's supposed to be set at 60 degrees. Autofill, oh, that's a great thing to use. Save yourselves a lot of time. The headers and footers are much different in Excel than they were in Word, so I'll make sure that you have instructions on that. Now, here's a sample of what you should have when you're done with Excel Lab 1. And there's your header, order, due dates. This is the names, all of this here. And we're asking you to have these labels in here and the orientation set to where it'll fit on a page. And then 17 lines for orders and your total packages. And in the footer, you're going to see this statement: please make checks payable to Big Valley School. So that's all you're going to have at this point. Now, doesn't that look a lot different than this? But it'll give you a good starting point to where you can see how to put things into Excel. Now, I want to look at Excel here. If you've never looked at Excel before, it's sort of confusing. You think, well, Word, you just start typing into it. But Excel, what you do is you have these cells that you're going to type into. Now, if I type 1, 2, those are values. If I type label and I put anything that describes it, those are labels. So that's what you have here. Now, to tell where you are on a spreadsheet, I'm in this cell right here, and the column, I'm in column C, and I'm on row 7. Well, that's sort of a hard way to tell. Look right up here, right there. That is the address field, and that will tell you where you are. And if you look here, the screen looks so much alike, the top portion that is. You've got your ribbons, you've got your tabs, you've got a couple of different tabs. You've got a formula tab, but you've got your page layout for all your margins. You've got insert here, and here's where you're going to insert your header and footer. And see, if I click on that, it looks very different. The header and footer is in 3 sections. There's the header, and if I scroll down, all the way down, your footer is at the bottom of the page there. So that's how you're going to see your header and your footer. When you look down here at the bottom of your page, there are the different views. There's the normal view, which is what I started out at. I have to get out of the header in order to change this. So if I go to the normal view, this is what you're going to have. So you have different things. You've still got your format painter. You've got your review, which is where your spell checker is. You've got, this looks different though, doesn't it? This is your formula bar right here. So we're going to get to the formula bar, and we're going to start on formulas in one of the next lessons. But let's not worry about formulas right now. I want to show you something very simple to get you a little, pique your interest in Excel. I like to give the example of, if I am building a fence and I want to see how much this fence is going to cost me, the first thing I'm going to do is put down the supplies, right? So if I am going to do 2x4s, and then I'm going to need 4x4s. What else am I going to need? I'm going to need cement. I'm going to need pickets. I'm going to need nails. And a lot of my students want me to include a hammer. And that's enough just to give you an idea. So that's what the supply is. Then in this next column, what I want to put is I want to put the quantity needed. Okay, and then I'm going to put the cost. Now look here how when I go from one cell to another and I'm pressing the arrows, I'm losing part of my header there, and this is where it comes in handy to do that orientation. So after that, I'm going to put the total cost, and let's go ahead and put some numbers in here. So how many 2x4s am I going to need? Let's just say that I need 10 2x4s. The posts, I probably need about 8. I'm just making up numbers here. Cement, I probably need 2 bags. Pickets for this, 10-foot fence or so, I probably need about 18 of them, let's say, and 2 boxes of nails and 2 hammers, because I'm going to get some help doing this. Now, 2x4s. Let's say that the 2x4s right now are $4.25. We're going to Orchard for all of these supplies, and they're $4.25. The 4x4 is probably about $8. It's probably more than that, definitely. Cement is maybe $6 a bag. Pickets are probably about $6.25. And the nails are probably going to be about $7.10 a box. Hammers are a good hammer, let's go for $12 each. Now I'm going to create some formulas here, and I'm going to do them fairly quickly because right now you don't need to be concerned about the formulas. Formulas always start with an equal sign. And on a formula, you never type 10 times 4.225. Don't do that. The reason you don't do that is you want to always refer to a cell, because that way if you change a number, your formula will recalculate. If I put 10 times 425 here again, 4 equals 10 times 4.25, I'm going to get $42.50. But now if I say, oh, I don't need 10 of those, I only need 8. Look, my total cost did not change. I'm going to go back here and put that to 10. And the correct way to write a formula is I am going to refer to the first cell. See how it highlights it? And I'm going to use your mathematical calculator, which is your times, and I'm going to multiply it times the next cell. And I'm going to press enter. Well, I'm getting the same response, but now look, if I change that and say I need 8, look how it recalculates it. Now I'm going to show you all of this. I'm going to take this a lot slower, but I'm going to do all of my formulas here. And what I'm going to do is I am going to do in this cell, I'm going to do a total. So this 10-foot fence cost me $260. Doesn't that sound like a whole lot? To me, I don't think I would put up a 10-foot fence if I had to spend that much money. But if I saw an ad where I could get the 2x4s for maybe $2.10, now remember that number, $260.70. So if I can get the 2x4s for $2.10, say I can find the 4x4s for $5.60, and the pickets are on sale for $3.25, and the hammers, I can say I find them used or something for $6 each. Look at there, we went from $260 to $158. Now what that does is that Excel is called a what if formula. A what if program. Because once you have it set up and you have it set up correctly, you can go back and say, okay, what if I can change one of these numbers? Say I don't need 18 pickets. I only need 12. So look at there how I'm changing the price. Well, what if to get the good pickets they're actually $5.10? There's a perfect example of using the what if calculations. So I hope this gives you a little idea of what some of the things that you can use Excel for. So one of the things that I want to show you real quick is let's get this total, all of this label to be seen. If I scroll up here and right here between the columns, the B and the C, see how that changed to a four-way plus with arrows? I can drag that over to where I can see the whole title. I'm going to do Control Z to undo what I did. I can also double click on there and it will widen the column to the widest. But I really don't want it that wide. What I really want to do is I want to take this whole row, or I want to take these three titles, and I want to change the orientation on them. Well, look up here in your home ribbon, on your home tab on the ribbon. You see this where they're angled? That's your orientation button. And if you click this, you can change them whichever way you want. You can angle them counterclockwise, clockwise, vertical, but I'm going to angle them counterclockwise. That's how you do that. So you can get your titles in there and you don't have to take up so much room. So, and now another thing is look at this, where this title runs between two cells. What you can do is, wouldn't it be nice if that whole thing, I'm going to move this over here. This whole title, I want to center it across all of the columns. So all I need to do is highlight all of those cells, and there is another button here that says Merge and Center. Look at there. Now it is centered throughout all those. There is no cell B1, C1 because it's all centered into one. So that's just a couple of the basics. So I'm going to let you go ahead and get started on lab number 1, and I will see what other videos you need to get started. Once again, please make sure to post a message on your discussion boards if you have any questions. I really hope to see a lot of questions on there because from your comments about your experience with Excel, this should be a much more challenging program than Word was. So, and hope we have fun.